Struck, and Loretta Lynch, and that pious, condescending, holier-than-thou Cardinal Jim Comey. When someone lies to you, do you just say, don't worry about it, I'll get over it? Well, that's not how our system works. There has to be accountability. There has to be a consequence. Because as the president himself said, this should never happen again. And I can guarantee you it will happen again. Unless we make an example of the traitorous, treasonous group that accused Donald Trump of being an agent of the Russian government. And as they spewed their hate, I want to know who did the unmasking, who did the leaking. And if we don't have a consequence, if people at the highest level of government are not held responsible for this, it is a blueprint for a future effort to overthrow the government. Don't be satisfied with the Mueller report. This is bound to happen again.
She's back.
Because these arrogant, lying, condescending, leaking haters
back.
of you and me and the America that doesn't have power are going to do it again unless we stop them. And the only way to stop them is with justice, true justice.
Whoa.
And that's behind the bars justice.
Wow, she's...
And that's my open.
Wow.
Let me know what you think on my Facebook and Twitter, hashtag Judge Jeanine.
Judge Jeanine is back. She came out swinging. She came out swinging. Oh, there's a beauty.
Rudy Giuliani. Good evening there.
She came out swinging. She's back.
Oh, thank you.
You know what I think of you.
Thank
and
you.
your entire career.
Wow.
You're a crusader
She
for
is
justice.
back.
Thank you. All right, let's talk about this. Now, what we've got is this report not only exonerated the president, it indicted the FBI, the DOJ, and there was a time when you and I would be talking and we'd say, Jeff Sessions is the Attorney General. Nothing's going to happen. Will something
Rudy
happen
Giuliani.
now?
Well, first of all, I know you agree with me. The people it indicts are the corrupted politicians at the top of the FBI and DOJ. No field office of the FBI is implicated in this.
Right.
No agent who's sacrificing his life to protect us. It's a bunch of these phony politicians at the top who corrupt themselves because they want to suck up
He's
to
right.
who's ever in power.
He's right.
That I would describe Comey that way, a whole bunch of other people like that. McCabe, his wife running for office, getting millions of dollars from Hillary's. These are suck-up politicians. They're not FBI agents like you know, or
Right,
police
not the guys that
not
you
the
and I
guys who
worked
go out and
with,
arrest
yes.
people, put their lives on the line.
Yeah.
My God, they'd probably, their hands would shake if they had to do that.
Yes.
So that's who we're talking about.
Right,
We're
the upper
talking about
echelon.
what they did here, I believe, over the next 6 months, we're going to uncover evidence that what they did here was criminal. This whole thing of collusion isn't true. I was with Donald Trump for the last 5 months of the campaign. He didn't never talk to a Russian. He had nothing to do with a Russian. As he would point out, I don't speak Russian. What are they doing this for?
Right.
Somebody made this up, Jeanine. Somebody conceived this.
Wow.
And they superimposed it, and then they went out to try to prove it. And we have to find out who's the brains behind this. A couple of 4 or 5 possibilities. I think we'll find them. I think that Lindsey Graham will help, but I think we need a Justice Department investigation of who tried to perpetrate a fraud on the American people.
Why haven't we heard about or from Christopher Steele, the people from Fusion GPS, Glenn Simpson, all of the people?
They should all be in jail.
Right. You and I agree on that. I mean,
you and I
got struck.
in jail
McCabe, the intent is evidence in the
God.
emails. I mean, we hope to be able to prove intent. It's right there.
Why is Cabe running around selling his book when he should be in jail for perjury? Why is Orr and his wife, when he should be in jail for conflict of interest and maybe bribery? I mean, it's about as clear. I mean, I prosecuted these people, put them in jail for these things. Orr's conflict of interest was like, I can prove it in a 3-day trial.
But this is what the American people are struggling with right now. The idea that what they see and what they know instinctively now that is clear from the Mueller report, there is a total exoneration of the president and the indictment of the FBI and the DOJ ultimately.
There's no collusion, which there's not.
Nah.
This is is the third or fourth investigation that's found no collusion. How many more do we have to have? That moron Schiff, I don't know what he is, actually. Shiftless Shift. Wants to do another investigation, like the fifth.
Oh, God.
If these people couldn't have found...
Moron Schiff. I love that.
13 of them angry Democrats. Some of them, donated enormous amounts of money to Hillary. Some of them were at her party crying. And one of them was the counsel to the Clinton Foundation.
Well, there's no question they were conflicted.
So if they couldn't find it,
was conflicted. Start with him.
You would be shocked if I told you the things they did to people
and that's...
to try to press them to lie about Donald Trump. And thank God, some of these people wouldn't lie. They have a lot more character than the prosecutors who were investigating them.
Now, what I want to ask you is, there is apparently an 87-page report that you have on Mueller and the special counsel. Things that the special counsel did that you have, quote, said you're sure he wouldn't want the public to hear. What has Mueller done that outrages you?
Well, let me just focus on one thing, because that's been public. Manafort. I don't know what else Paul did, in Ukraine, whatever else.
Right.
But these are white-collar crimes. They closed the case in 2014. They only reignited the case because he became the first advisor and then a campaign manager to Donald Trump. They raided him in the morning. They frightened the hell out of his family. They put him in solitary confinement for 9 months.
The man's 70 years old. It's crazy.
If they did it to a terrorist, these civil rights lawyers would be in court saying you can't do this.
Okay, I have to ask you one quick question.
No civil rights lawyer came forward for Manafort.
No, because this guy was right and left.
23 hours a day looking
moron
at his
Schiff.
shoes.
Did you guys hear that?
Tell him what he had to say.
Okay, one quick
You have
question.
to implicate Trump. If you don't implicate Trump, you're going back to solitary confinement.
The judge knew that. What was it, Judge Elliott? But let me ask you this.
Disgraceful.
You're with President Trump. He finds out the Mueller report is out. He's quiet for 2 days. He doesn't tweet. What's going on in the White House? How is he reacting? What is he saying?
Well, when we got the news that it was no collusion,
Right.
no obstruction,
Right.
I was relieved. I have to tell you, I was relieved. I was ready. And we were sitting there for 3 days with our entire group ready to, boom, hit back if they said anything. Because I believe that no matter what they say, we can prove to the American people that it's not true.
Right.
Because I know something they don't know. He didn't collude with the Russians at all. He had nothing to do with the Russians.
And he's been saying that all along.
And how stupid is an obstruction of justice when Mueller went from the beginning to the end of the investigation and nobody stopped him? 500 witnesses. We didn't object to a single one. 1.4 million documents.
Right.
There's not a single thing Mueller could say he wanted he didn't get.
Right.
So they're like, oh, did the president think he might obstruct, or did he ever think he might fire Mueller?
We're reaching.
First of all, he didn't.
Right.
And second, we don't prosecute people for their thoughts.
All right.
God almighty, half of America would be in jail if you prosecute for their thoughts.
For sure. All right. Counsel to the president,
Jeanine,
Rudy Giuliani.
I am so glad you're back. We need, at this time, that our
Thank
country
God.
is in trouble. We need your common sense voice.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
We need you.
Thank you.
Okay.
And joining me now is the host of the Dan Bongino Show and Fox News contributor Dan Bongino. Listen, all right,
She
Dan,
is
I can't
back,
wait to hear
ladies
from
and
you on
gentlemen.
this. Look, we've got this guy.
She is back.
Say, all of the things that were done. We got like 2,800 subpoenas, 500 search warrants. They spoke to 500 witnesses in 13 countries, $25 million, 675 days, and all that jazz. And this guy, Adam Schiff. Shall I call him what the president called him? This guy wants to have more hearings as though he's going to find out more than Mueller did. What do you have to say to Adam Schiff?
Shifty Schiff.
Well, let me just say it's spectacular to be here with you tonight. Adam Schiff is a sleazeball. Should we call him a pencil neck? I don't even, the pencil neck is nice. He's a sleazeball. He has accused the President of the United States, Judge, the President of the United States, without any evidence whatsoever, of being a traitor to his country. What kind of a human being, what kind of a vacuum of a soul do you need to have to do that? And the mayor was right. Judge, let's not forget, This is not the first investigation to come up empty-handed. It's the third. We had a House investigation, a Senate investigation, and now a Mueller probe. And what have they come up with? Zero. And wait, one more thing on this. I don't want to hear any more about how Mueller exonerated Trump. Mueller didn't exonerate anybody. Trump exonerated Trump because he didn't do anything wrong. Mueller should have to answer for why he was even investigating him in the first place.
Well, that's what I want to know. Why was there an investigation based on a false dossier? I want to know where it started, and as the mayor just said, whose idea it was. But I want you to hear some of the stuff that this guy Schiff has said. And by the way, this is a guy that there is no space between him and a camera, all right? Anytime there's a camera, he's rushing to it. Okay, so there's clear evidence on the issue of collusion, and this adds to that body of evidence.
She's back.
To me, this is direct evidence, but there's also abundant circumstantial evidence. There is significant evidence of collusion. I can say there is ample evidence and indeed evidence of collusion. And he says, I've said all along, I would accept whatever conclusion that Mueller reaches. I've also said there's a big difference between whether there's evidence of collusion, and I think that I think that that evidence is already in plain sight. Is this guy from another planet?
I'm going to stun you and your audience right now, Judge. Adam Schiff is right on every one of those counts. The evidence of collusion is absolutely strong. He's right. With the Clintons.
Yeah.
We just had it revealed, by the way, by Nellie Orr, who was working for Fusion GPS, Follow Me at Home, who's hired by the Clintons. Nellie Orr, in sworn testimony, working for the company hired by the Clintons, admitted that a Ukrainian lawmaker, a foreigner they're not supposed to collude with, was feeding Fusion GPS information. Christopher Steele, who produced the filthy, discredited, debunked dossier, has already admitted in a deposition he gave overseas that the information was from Russians. I mean, how does this escape Adam Schiff? Collusion's real. It's just with the Democrats.
You know, somebody told me this guy was actually a prosecutor. Should he be taken off as head of the committee?
Oh, for sure.
Head of the committee, this guy should go do charitable work, go to confession, and leave public life forever. Head of the committee, this guy should not be allowed in Washington, D.C. You know, in the Secret Service, when I was there, if you screwed up, you became a do not admit, and they put your picture on the... Adam Schiff's picture should be up on Capitol Hill with a do not admit sign. This guy's disgraced the country, the Congress, his party, and anybody laying claim to this guy. He is sleazy. You do not accuse an American citizen of being a traitor with zero evidence.
It's outrageous, and I think right at the top is Brennan and Clapper. I mean, those two make you crazy. I mean, going on to the other networks and acting like they have a special intelligence, and Brennan, I even talk about him in my book, he's swamp scum. And the
Judge Clapper lied. He said in May 2017 he would have known about a FISA warrant if it was out there. He was categorical. There's no FISA. I would look it up. It's on YouTube. March 2017, Lion Jim Clapper.
Okay, all right, Dan, let's assume that they're going to continue to be what they are. And they don't accept these findings ultimately. And whether it's Jerome Nadler or Adam Schiff, they're going to keep having these hearings. Do the hearings backfire?
They have to backfire. Judge, there's no evidence. You know how it's going to backfire? The great irony, by the way, is this case fell apart because the Democrat demands to investigate the FBI actions in the Clinton probe, and that's how they found the stroke text. You know what they're going to find next? Wait till the Ukrainian scandal blows.
That's
what's going on over there with the ambassador and Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's kid, the sweetheart deals they got. Wait till that becomes public.
Whoa.
They're going to wish they stopped probing into foreign collusion.
And we'll bring it back for that. Dan Bongino, thanks so much for being with us tonight. All right, and former New York City Police Commissioner Bernie Carrick is still ahead tonight. But next, the Democrats' message falling flat against...
Again, my name is Samuel Zerza for the SE channel. Judge Jeanine is back. Fired. It's like she's on fire. And, oh my God, we got sleazeball Adam Schiff. And who else? What else did he say? That moron. Oh, wait, Giuliani. That moron Schiff. Classic. Total classic. Anyways, my name is Samuel Zerza for the SE channel. Please subscribe. I will be changing, or I will be making another channel since I've been demonetized for zero reason, zero. I have a perfect channel. You know, they're going after Republicans and conservatives and so on. But anyways, for now, this is all great. She's back. I'm glad she's back. Take care. God bless.